There's been a lot of talk on the left recently about taking back the Democratic Party. Well, I have some bad news for you. This isn't going to happen. It's like that car that drove off the cliff. You might want to try and rebuild it, but let's face it, it's totaled. It's time for a new car, and I'm going to tell you how to build one. This is We the People. Now, I am directing this first part here at all you so-called Dem-Enter people. Those of you who think that you can get back on that horse that you never rode to begin with, the fact that your attempt to take back the party you were never really a part of will ever happen. The banks own the Democratic Party. The Clinton machine still controls the hierarchy of the party. And not only do they not want you, they will fight you tooth and nail. Hell, I've already heard so far about reports from the last few weeks about Bernie's people being shut out in state meetings. Ballot boxes in California for state offices literally being stolen and hauled off to be counted in secret, away from the eyes of Bernie supporters and progressives who think they're going to take back the party. The machine is still there, people. It's still there, and it's very much alive. And all its effort will be directed against you. And you will spend the next 10 years banging your head against that wall and getting nowhere. But all is not lost, little buckaroo. I have a solution for you. Now, building a brand new party and expecting to be a threat to the two existing major parties in this country is nonsense. I fully admit that. Starting from the ground up, there's registering with the different states, the feds, the laws around fundraising, having to have a separate chair in each state for the national chair, blah, 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 blah. You know the routine if you've looked into it, and I stress that you should. Just Google the term start a new political party, and you'll be inundated with a ton of rules and guidelines that you have to follow to start from the ground up. It's quite a daunting task. So forget that. It's not going to happen. So we have to go with option 2. Build a new party out of an existing party. So if you can't take back the Dems to do that, and building a brand new party is too difficult to achieve your goals by 2020, then what do you do? Well, kids, there are 4 political parties in this country, not 2. There are 4. And 2 of them are actually ripe for a complete takeover by a real progressive movement. Now, first of all, the libertarians are out of the question. From the start, they have the Koch brothers as a foundation, not to mention half the party is full of loonies who don't want to do away with every federal government office and all government oversight. You don't want to deal with that. That's far too difficult to deal with. So scratch the Libertarian Party. So this leaves us with one quite viable candidate for the progressive movement, and that is the Green Party. Now, I'm going to start this by saying right off the bat, forget Jill Stein. Just resolve to yourself that she's no longer a factor. I will come back to this later. The Green is the perfect party for real progressives to take over and move forward. The reasons are quite simple. Greens are primarily a climate and earth party, which aligns itself with the real progressive movement in this country quite well. When you think about it, all us true liberal progressives want to be off of fossil fuels. We want to save our oceans. We want to stop killing whales and baby seals. These things do matter to us. But this is the perfect party for real progressives. So how do we do it? Well, there's several steps that we need to follow in order to take over the Green Party and be viable for 2018. And yes, I did say 2018. We must be viable for 2018. 2020 is the main goal, of course, but we need to get in the door in Congress in 2018. So for all those of you out there who are thinking about political movements, thinking about getting into the political mainstream and running for office, listen to me carefully. Step 1. Now, Jill Stein has managed to get on the ballot in 44 states. But that's not enough, because if we're going to be a viable campaign and we're going to be a viable party in the future, we have to be in all 50 states. That's a requirement. So we still need to be there, and that means that we have to get into the 6 remaining states that she did not achieve her goals in. Those states are Indiana, North Carolina, Georgia, Oklahoma, Nevada, South Dakota. If you live in one of these states, then you need to get off the couch right now and make whatever moves you need to get the Green Party on the state ballot registry, so that you can achieve your goals in your home state. So if you live in one of these states, you're responsible for building the Green Party in those 6 states, because they need to be on the ballot in 2018. So call your state election board. Right now, as soon as you're done listening to this, form a new Facebook group for your state, Green in 2018, whatever state, Indiana, South Dakota, Oklahoma. Start the movement today. Now, step 2, bail out the Democratic Party, as in bail out, jump from the plane. It's time to move on. Now, what I mean by that is to stop working to fix something that has already died. You won't fix it. You can't fix it. You are up against a daunting task that is rigged against you and has been. So stop putting your efforts towards trying to fix something you are incapable of fixing. Get over it and start building a new base of progressives within the Green Party. Real progressive liberals need to begin moving in and setting the agenda for the future Green. In your states where there is a Green presence, start attending their functions, form new active groups, form new chapters within your own local community. You're a liberal. You don't spend a lot of time hanging out with conservatives. Most of the people you hang out with socially are probably liberal too. At your next dinner party, at your next picnic, at your next Easter function, talk to these people. Get together with them and form your collective group and begin working together as a team to build the Progressive Green Party. Move in and set the agenda in your state. Also, if you have a local candidate in your area, in your city, in your county, even statewide, that you personally know who is a real progressive, call them, meet with them, explain to them the value of this transition now. You see, because now the Democratic Party is so broken that they are unable and feckless to do anything. We are so crippled in the Democratic Party now that trying to fix that problem and then get back where we were, you might as well put that effort in a new direction, because starting over is starting over. No matter where you are, you're still starting over. So start over green. You want to set the party agenda in a party that's funded by billionaires and millionaires and Soros and Clinton and Wasserman Schultz and all those others? You want to fight them? You can't. And all the effort, time, and money you will spend will be wasted in trying to do so. So build inside green. Find the candidates that are running that are progressive and liberal and call yourself a progressive green candidate or a green progressive liberal. And when you're on the stump, say that you're a Democrat that turned green because the Democratic Party has left the working people of America and you left the Democratic Party. Get new candidates on the ballots, get them in the city councils, get them in the county administrator's office, get them at the state, the local, the ground level, even the school board. Convince them to convert green. If they're Democrats that are supposedly progressive, they will do this because the only reason they want to stay in the Democratic Party is twofold: power and money. And if that's the reason they're in politics, we have no use for them. Convert as many low-level progressive Dems to green as soon as possible because they need to be ready and in position to move in 2018 forward with us. If they already hold an office, get them to leave their party. Get them to announce that they're now green and not blue. They already have a base in their communities. They already have local name recognition. This is party building 101. If you're in politics, you know what I'm talking about. Go green now. Don't waste time. Build from the bottom. But they must publicly announce that they're green and change their affiliation. This will be a difficult thing to do, but if you help them generate the ground level support that they will need to continue, they can do it. We need media attention everywhere. And to get that, a mass conversion of low-level Democrats across the nation will make news. And eventually, we will begin to make waves and more conversions, in Washington even. The point is, each and every state, we must engage and infiltrate the Green Party at its base and move to put progressive liberals in charge of each state's chair. Now, step 3, the platform. Now, there's a lot of different things about platform we could discuss here: equal rights for women, equal pay, child care, but I'm not even going to touch any of those. The reason is very simple. We all know what they are. I'd be just singing to the choir. If you're a progressive liberal the way I'm a progressive liberal, then you already want the same things I want. The only difference is the argument on the nuance of how to get it done. There's one thing, though, that I must stress. The basis for being a green politician from day one is that we must rewrite the platform that clearly states, and I quote, "No Green Party candidate may take donations from corporations or their lobbyists. Period. Full stop." If a candidate breaks this rule, a hearing is held at the national level, and if they're found guilty of breaking the cardinal sin, they are kicked out of the party. Traitors will not be tolerated. Now, this must be the very core of the new party platform, because this is where politics has become corrupt. Corporate donations and banks and oil companies owning our government and owning our country. If you want to stop it, you don't need a new amendment to get rid of Citizens United. Build a party in which the first order of business is clear. We don't play that game. And if you want to be able to campaign on something like that, having that be your platform or part of it certainly is a selling tool. Ask Bernie. If we want to stop corruption at the root of the party system, we must have this as part of our party's platform, and it must never be removed. Step 4, and the final step in which 2018 we've achieved our first 3 goals. At 2018, after we've achieved our goals, gotten a 50-state coverage for the Green Party, low-level candidates in office by 2018, a ground roots effort to expand the party, a progressive movement under Green, we can then go to true Democratic progressives that are in the Democratic Party, have them pledge the same anti-corporation donors that Greens have, and have them change parties and go green with real progressives. We will then have a ground movement. We will have a ground game. We will have a base from which to help them in the future, and we will be able to continue to keep them in office. We can go to these national leaders like Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, Keith Ellison, John Lewis, or even Elizabeth Warren or Nina Turner. These are the people who need our support. These are the people that we can help. These are the people who are counting on us to do the hard lifting, because they have to maintain their presence in Washington. They are our voice. We must be their weapon. Imagine if on the eve of the national election campaign for president, a mass exodus of true progressive Democrats left the party and went green on the same day. After we, the people, rebuild the Green Party to be the real progressive liberal party, we will be able to serve up to the likes of Sanders, Gabbard, or Nina Turner a party base with a nationwide support in which to run with. We can even quietly approach Sanders and Gabbard ahead of time, consulting with them on the party building, reconstructing Green as the new progressive movement. All of this is possible. We have the time and the manpower to execute this plan. Let the corporate Democrats have their corrupt organization, because we'll run against them and we'll win. But we must begin this task now. Someone out there who is listening knows who we can recruit as our standard bearer. Someone who knows how to reach Nina Turner, for example. A true national voice we could call on to stand behind when she cries out, "Dem exit, go green." Now, for those of you who are Jill Stein followers, let me explain something very short to you. I'm going to give you some bad news. Jill Stein was not qualified to be our president. Not any more qualified than Donald Trump. Now, I know that many of you are going to be very angry to hear me say that, but that's the fact. She was unqualified and unable to do the job. That's why I didn't vote for her. I wanted to be able to vote for her, but the more I looked into her as a candidate, the less I liked. I would have rather had Hillary, yes, because we at least need somebody in the office that knows what the hell they're doing. And if you want reason to believe that should be true, well, we're about to find out soon what it's like to have an idiot who doesn't understand the game, trying to win and trying to play the game. So Jill Stein needs to go about her merry way. We need a new leader. It's time to go green and dim exit. If you'd like to reach me on this subject and others, you can reach me at WTPAmerica.com. Join us on Facebook, We the People of America, on Facebook. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/WTP America. My name is Alan Garrett. This is We the People. Resist.